Yo, what is going on, guys? Godrekton here today, bringing you another VOD review. In this game, we are playing against a Graves, and just some context about the game too. This game was more so that I had to try and use my lead to try and carry the mid game. Okay, oh, that's why. I was thinking, why is it going so slow? But then I remembered I was actually watching through it again because I played this game like I think 5 days ago now. It was something like that, and I was looking for a game that maybe people would like kind of learn from and appreciate. So I thought this game was good because I had a pretty good game. There's some mistakes I made too that I do want to go into and try and give you some foresight how to prevent that too in your own games. So yeah, let's get on with the VOD. So I'm against Graves. Graves is quite a easy matchup, I would say. It is definitely like a pretty easy matchup if you go on Prowler's Claw. Prowler's Claw gives you that instant access where once you use the active on him, he really can't escape. He has to use his E, his ult, or flash, but even then you can still follow up by using your own E right after. And most of the time you're practically one-shotting the Graves on repeat. So Twitch is already being caught out, which was... I didn't remember this happening, but yeah. He gets caught out, doesn't use any sums though, which is good. We're doing 5-point vision as well, so Twitch was here. Obviously he was caught slacking a little bit. Didn't really react right away. I don't know why it says surrender here in the chat. It was actually a pretty hard game, and it was like, we had to like fight to Nexus, but yeah. It's pretty funny, just already spoiling the outcome, but I mean, of course I'll win. Based on the game anyway, as you guys know. So, I'm already suffering some tech issues. I don't know why. Wait. Okay, that's better. There's a little bit of frame rate problems. Just trying to sort that out before anything happens through the VOD where it crashes. Or something crazy. So, straight away, I help Hecarim here. I secure blue. I see that Graves is already in his lane, meaning that Xin Zhao started bot side. Initially, I didn't really factor this. I think it's because I was playing like 5 o'clock in the morning in this game, and I was a little bit tired. It was just like before I hit Masters as well, so I was trying to like grind games through, and I didn't really think about where Xin Zhao started for whatever reason. And you're going to see that it actually backfires on me. So the first thing you should be thinking of in these moments where you see your laner instantly in lane and not leashing is that the enemy laner, or I mean jungler, is on the opposite side of the map. Also, bot lane hasn't shown here, so that only means Xin Zhao is going to path to top side, or he could invade, but it's very unlikely. He would rather go blue to top side than gank for mid or top. I'm also top lane because mid lane's a lot harder because Veigar has his E, which can prevent the Xin Zhao from getting a good gank off. So my lane is more susceptible to being ganked here, so that's what I should factor. And I should drop a ward at like 240 in this bush, at least. So I come to lane, I have Q start here. Graves' objective in this matchup, or not even this matchup, just the way you play the champion, is to perma push. And this is kind of why Renekton's good into it, because like I talked about in my last video, Renekton's really good at playing off the ropes, like how I called it, like rope-a-doping, meaning that if I'm under my tower, I can do short trades here, and like the enemies can't really retaliate. So I'm close to my tower, and they don't get a preferable trade. So a lot of the time, the matchup kind of goes like that, and then I can punish the Graves for overextending. He doesn't really beat me unless I kind of overdo it, which I don't really do in this game, but there is like an example where I can show that. So yeah, level 1, I'm just kind of like feeling out the lane, just going to last it. I basically come online at level 3, so I'm just trying to do what I can. Level 2, I can go for aggressive trades with EQ. But more than anything, if I knew my Xin Zhao was exactly pathing to, I probably would have wanted Graves to shove in more, but I didn't really factor that because I was just playing off autopilot, which is a very negative habit that we are going to see. So I skill E now. I am looking for EQ trades with empowered Q. This is kind of like the premise of the matchup. You want to get like EQ trades, try and wither Graves' health down. He does have a lot of sustain though, with cookies and potions, so it isn't really going to do much right now. But as we get in, like, further into the lane, it's going to be doing a lot more work. So I put a ward down here at 240, which is correct, but I probably should have put it here at least, because, again, Xin Zhao's going to path up to here. And I have like an idea in my head now that he's going to come. But putting the ward here was definitely lazy. I had time to put the ward here to spot the Tribush like gank, if it does happen. So I am pushing in. If I... Like, the way I should play this is that I should like try and shove the wave in here, but unfortunately, because of how I did play it, and having no respect for the Xin Zhao, I get caught out, and this leads to my first death. So I try and stall, just playing in the alcove. Was a little bit bad. Like, if we do go back to when I did ward, just to show you. Right now, okay. So 240 is coming up. I had a window to actually ward here, and if I did that, this would actually prevent the Xin Zhao gank, because I'll be coming like here now after warding, and Xin Zhao's still doing red. And that would spot like the whole thing going on. So that would actually prevent me a death there. And I think the moral of the story, like just for this like circumstance, is never be lazy with your wards. Like vision is everything in this game, and when you're playing in higher MMR2, vision becomes like an asset to winning a game. That will determine whether or not you can actually win a game, just by knowing where the jungler is, or like other players. Like spotting them out means like your team could capitalize on that and go more aggressively. So having the ward here would allow my bot lane to be like a lot more aggressive and probably go for a kill too. I can't remember if it happens, but there's a lot of benefits to it, because my team can be at ease knowing where the enemy jungler is, and as well as myself, I can defend against potentially dying. And the only way that I really die in this matchup is dying to a jungle gank, or like a TF roam in this circumstance of the game too, which is their win con, which is to put me behind and get the Graves ahead and like funnel like bot side. So yeah, that's kind of that's what makes it so important with warding. Never be lazy on your wards if you want to get good. And there is a lot of people that are like, oh, my warding sucks, oh, I always die to jungle ganks. Well, you're dying because you're warding. I mean, this is what I get told, right? So people often say like, oh, I'm always warding, but I'm still dying to jungle ganks. Like, they're always camping me. You're being camped because you're putting yourself in these positions like I am now, where I should be getting ganked. And if I wasn't lazy with wards, I can prevent doing this and then be more thoughtful of how I'm taking my trades. But because I had like no awareness whatsoever, I went reckless abandonment here, I ended up getting caught and then ultimately dying. So yeah. That is quite an important thing you guys have to understand when playing a champion like Renekton. You really can't be dying on this champ. So after this death, I was a little bit annoyed at myself, and then I was like, okay, I'm not going to die again. I'm going to be a lot more careful, and I'm, you know, just going to be tunneled on now. I'm going to be focused. Because I was streaming this game too at the time, and I think I was like, kind of getting carried away talking to chat. So yeah, that's like another problem I have when I stream games. So what do I do now? How do I come back in this situation? Well, the lane is not over. Renekton is still really good. Like, you can have like 1 or 2 deaths maximum before, you know, you probably get outscaled after like dying in some of these lanes. But for me, I could still abuse the Graves. It just comes down to playing a lot more safe against the jungler. So right now, we are going to the slow push and last hit. The slow push will help us build a minion wave, and then end up like getting a free reset if we need to. Then I can buy my Dirk. Or I can also just build a minion wave and then force a dive, but Hecarim's not really playing for me this game, so I kind of have to take things into my own hands. So I didn't talk about my runes. I have Bone playing here, and I don't really recommend it. It's not terrible in this type of lane. I mean, you can go second win, but if you're playing behind minions, Graves can never E you, and that's another benefit of having a big minion wave like this. I can do a short trade, and then disengage back with my dice, and then I kind of negate damage because Graves can't really auto me past the minions with how his shotgun works. So it's actually another thoughtful thing to consider when you are fighting your Graves. Try and use the minions as your benefit, like to your benefit. Also, that trade I did, if we go back real quick, just to go over, it wasn't anything like major, but it was kind of like just showing Graves, like, you know, I will go aggressive still. I'm not scared. And we do like EQW trade here, so cancel my Q animation with W, and then that all goes off while Graves E's, and he has no way of evading it. Now I just walk back to my minion wave, get out the Q damage, and yeah, it's good. Good for me. I also built Fury from that trade, which was also the main point of that. So when I next go in, I can do like empowered EW, or I do EQW again, which is a pretty good trade into range matchups. I'll go commit here. So right now, Graves is in a really bad spot. He has to reset, and if he doesn't reset, I kill him here. With this gank, there was no point wasting summoners, so I still have both of them up, which just sets me up for the kill. Just because I built this minion wave too, which also allows me to just dive. Now right now, I'm looking for the flash W, just kind of like pretending like to back away, to shy off, like, oh, I'm not going to go in. Trying to mask my movement, so I'm like going up and down like this, just to like kind of lure Graves into walking into me. That's what a lot of ranged champions do as well. Like, if you do these movements where you're clicking backwards, they will like walk into you. So you can like trick them with like how your character's like positioned. So if I'm like this right now, to him it looks like, okay, I'm just backing away. But for me, if I had on my if I had no cooldowns, it's like a way to mask like what I want to do. So obviously I have the intent of going in, and right away we see that he turns and shoots. So that's like a window for him to go aggressive, but that's also me baiting him into thinking he's dying. You'll see a lot of this in the last game I played against Vayne, so definitely check that out if you're curious on like how to mask your movements. And a lot of it is what I'm doing here. Like, I'll look away, then I'll EQ and like clip Graves every time. Yeah, right now I just set up the kill. Scaring minions, more Fury, Flash W, Ignite, EQ, and he is dead. Crash the wave, and then we look for a reset. So now I get the Dirk and the Longsword. I also sell a red pot for refill. I think refill is really good here. There's no point buying extra red potions because it's just coming out my pocket if I have to keep buying them, so I'd rather just buy refill at this point. Come back to lane, drop a ward here. It looks like a lazy ward, but overall, the wave's got to shove back towards my side, and I kind of just want to leave the ward here, because I'm going to be playing under my tower, so just putting it here at least is fine. And I don't really want to miss too many minions by having to walk in Tribush, so in this circumstance, it's not bad, because Graves is going to be pushing in. And I also want him to push here, because Veigar wants to look for a roam. So, in these moments, I'm just kind of like chilling out. Just want the wave to shove, so the lane's like a lot longer for him. So if he's like, if the minion wave like is pushed to here, that means Graves has to overextend and then hit the following wave, which makes him susceptible to getting ganked by my mid laner or jungle, for example. So this has actually been set up pretty nicely, but unfortunately, Veigar decides to be a little bit impatient and runs in, and then I just kind of like don't really do anything. I think it's also warded. Actually, it wasn't warded. But if you're a mid laner and you're trying to gank a lane, just be patient and let the wave shove. Now, I get it. There's a lot of people that can't play with minion waves in lower MMR, but if you're at least in like Diamond or Masters, just be patient, wait for the wave to shove, and then ping like in when like the enemy champion's like in the middle of the lane, because I have nowhere to run. Especially if you're a Veigar, like there's no way that this Graves should get to live here, but he just kind of was impatient, which is still like a common, you know, thing a lot of people make mistakes with in every elo as well. So right now, Veigar doesn't know what he's doing. He's just kind of like clicking around. He gets spotted by the TF ult. I'm just going to position my wave over here. My winning opportunities are for Graves to overextend in the lane. So I keep the wave on my side, and then I can just like do as many trades as I want. So, again, I'm doing the rope-a-dope strategy we talked about. And that alone gets me the flash there. Because Graves has to flash or I just kill him. So freezing is really good. Now, I try and keep these minions up just to kind of like bait Graves into staying, waiting for my E, because I can E dash and then go onto this one and look for a fight on Graves. And I'm also like keeping my Fury up too by doing this. But again, Veigar, I mean, Graves backs away because Veigar is still trying to make this play work, but it just isn't going to work. In this moment too, I'm just trying to shove. So I think I wanted a reset here. I think I had a bit of gold. I had some gold. But I don't think there's any point to shove the wave in though. I was thinking about diving. I think that's why I did it here. Like I wanted to dive, but I wasn't entirely sure. Based on the fact that Graves is still a bit tanky with his E. And go in here, do another EQ trade. E back in, because he didn't expect it. W. I could have killed him here. But, my Ignite was just about to come back up. And I didn't get it. I mean, I might be able to, like, auto-attack. Let me watch that again. I remember because I was like, fuck, my Ignite. I had my Ignite the whole time, but I actually didn't. EQ. Graves walks back into me like we was talking about before. I mask my movement by hitting a minion. E back in. Auto, WR. Actually, I don't even press R here. If I did, he's dead. I also didn't see him because the smoke screen. Yeah, I could have killed him if I pressed R. Or if I waited a little bit longer for my Ignite. It's another mistake too. Oh well, it was close. Graves still misses out here too. And I still saved my Ignite for the next time I fight. So overall, like, I come out on top still. I didn't burn anything. Graves, like, burned his ult for that. And he misses, like, 2 waves of minions, practically. That's a lot of gold. That's like 100 gold plus from one wave. That he just missed out because I had forced that fight. So it's still pretty good for us. So Graves pushes in. Again, we can abuse this by freezing. I'm going to drag the wave up here. Keep a freeze. I do want to make a minion wave guide video too. Or a minion wave management video at some point. So I will be going more into depth about minions and how to abuse people with them. By just having good wave management. So definitely be on the lookout for that within the next month or so. I've already wrote my script for it. So I'm going to make that a reality of a video. So again, we keep the wave here. Graves is like kind of forced in an awkward spot. He needs to get gold too, so him being impatient means I can just, you know, force on him like this. So I E, EQ, E back on, WR, Ignite. I block his movement by walking in front of him, following him, and he dies. I probably should have RW'd here because I would have got my empowered W. But in the heat of the moment, I just did WR instead. And we still get a kill, but, you know, being me as someone that's very mechanical as a player, I do know I could have played it a little bit better. RW is way better for once. Extra damage on my W, which is obviously important here. Whole extra 120 damage is pretty huge. So now we pick up the Prowler's Claw. Overall, my team's doing okay. Although the game doesn't really remain in that way. And I do have to, like, kind of carry my weight throughout the game. I ping Hecarim to go in here. We secure the kill next. Graves is just mega tilted at this point as well. He's bought all these components and he just doesn't know what to do. Now he bought Noon Quiver. Like, no defensive items. He probably should have bought a Tabby, to be quite honest. Just so I don't, like, insta-kill him. And he has a way to get away. Or actually, maybe he took inspiration. I don't remember if he did. Ah, he did. Never mind, he couldn't. Okay. That's a problem with going magical footwear into a Renekton. Because you can't just rush tabbies and then Renekton perma kills you, as you're going to see again here. So a Q, auto, Prowler, WR, auto E, auto again, and he's dead just like that. So at this point, I'm just letting minions die as well. So all these minions are like just gold that Graves is losing, and I can just perma proxy, knowing that TF is dead, Xin Zhao's dead. I build my Fury off the minion wave, Q for 10 Fury, auto again. Prowler for empowered damage, then I do WR, E, and just like that, we kill the Graves again. There is nothing he can do. He's basically out the game, and the next step for me is basically pressing my lead on the map. Now I'm just going to take the tower, let the minions die as well, more golden XP being lost. Very important thing to do if you want to put any champion like this behind, which is very important, I will add. It also tilts them too, it's a very psychologically strong thing to do. Right now I back at tabbies, or plaid steel caps, sorry, I keep calling them tabbies after the change they did last season. I see there's a fight breaking out, so I'm going towards mid here. Try and like help my team. I also bought a red trinket at this point because I want to be roaming and playing off Fog of War. That will help me obtain that objective by obviously using it and then hiding myself from enemy vision, and also just making the map dark for their side, which is a really big advantage for us. I walk mid, get the minion wave. My team's like over here, but there's not much really going on, so I end up just walking back top, trying to get as many resources as possible, because Veigar wasn't going to get it. Might as well just take that minion wave, get 2 cannons within 30 seconds. So, what do you want to do right now? You're a fed top laner. The game's going pretty well. We are losing some dragons. My bot lane's not doing the strongest right now. So, what should I be doing as a top laner? First of all, I do, like, in this game specifically, I do want to keep killing Graves, and I also do want to, like, take top lane resources, like, from the enemy jungler, so take Krogs, Red, Raptors if it's available, or I'll try and kill him in his jungle, and then I want to, like, try and look for plays mid, help Veigar get ahead, and take tower, and also kind of, like, what's running through my mind at the moment, because there's no one to really take bot lane. Bot lane's, like, kind of pushed out towards our side. So going here, there's like nothing to really do right now. Like the only times I want to be like down here is if Twitch wants a lane swap or the dragon's about to come up, which is kind of like my reason to roam then. So I'm kind of just waiting for the next dragon to come on, and then I'm going to be like roaming towards bot lane and trying to help out. So right now I'm just kind of looking for CS, maybe try and get into a kill on Graves. But to my dismay and just being very inept, I get attacked by Xin. Try and go for the one-shot. Try and flash. It was very pointless. I kind of thought Graves would ult or something. Sadly as well, Xin Zhao lived from the Renekton that roamed. I just had no like awareness at all what was going on. So I should have been looking at the map before I was doing this. Like realistically, this is what the map was looking like. Nobody is on the map at all, so where could they be? Could all be running topside, and they were. Based on my stupidness. Also, this is bad, because I give up a lot of gold here. That's 500 bounty gold. So overall, 700 gold, because 300 gold, base gold as well from killing me. So 700 gold, the Xin Zhao gets. A champion that will dominate once he gets death stance. You have to be really considerate of how you play the game. You can never be like dying when you're fed. Well, that alone will be the reason you lost, not your teammates. Okay, so next thing I do is I am going to go bot lane now. It's just the best thing for me to do. Going top lane is just kind of pointless because I'm always overextending and we're not really doing anything else on the map. It's better being bot side because I can 1v1 TF or Caitlyn, she's going to farm there. Like, no one can really stop me down here. And my teammates will be playing closer to me as well just because dragons, like, going to spawn very soon. And I am like one of the strongest assets in the game with Hecarim. So being bot lane is just a lot better for me. And there's also more resources to farm as well. So I'll clear the wave, use red trinket, just go into like D-ward. I do miss a blue trinket there. Just kind of waiting around. Hit this, we spot the Renekton's in. The ward finally. Now, right now, we see them walking up. My whole team is here. We can definitely, like, force a fight here. So I'm just spam pinging to go in. We have Nami ult. He now uses it. I'm here. Then tries to ult. E over the wall. Prowler's Claw. Auto W. Auto Q, I mean. Trying to build Fury here. As you saw. Whole point of that was building Fury for W. So again, the Xin Zhao is really good here. It also allows us to pressure mid. The mid tower, we've got Dragon 120, so it gives me time to try and push bot lane while we're distracting. I think the TF shows here though, if I remember. Or he's mid now. He's mid, okay. I do force a TP for Graves, which is pretty good. Although it is a pretty convenient TP because Dragon's spawning very soon. This allows me to back to play Ruin King, and now I have like my ultimate spike. Like this item combination is like the most broken item combination you can get on Renekton. So I'm just going to be one-shotting anyone I touch now. I have the touch of death. So this time my team is fighting. I try to look up just to run up here. Do have ult. Prowler's Claw. In red trinket, try and deny vision. It's a very awkward fight because I can't just walk in either because they do have a lot of traps like TF, gold card, Graves like damage. I do get one kill and I'm trying to like back away. As full AD Renekton, I can't just dive in. If you are thinking like, why don't I just go in and one shot? Well, it's not that easy in these like circumstances because there's a lot of things that can deny me from going for the kills, or like securing them at least. Nami fails to block the shot there, and then forced to back off. So I am thinking in my head, okay, I start Prowler's Claw, I might have an opportunity to like capitalize like a one shot on Caitlyn or TF, but ultimately it's just not going to show because TF's presence with the gold card is way too strong, and then Twitch obviously gets caught, and then I'm forced to back away. Again, I don't want to give up any of my gold to the enemy team, so just gotta play it safe, wait for my team to spawn, and just kind of get this farm towards my death stance, which is my next item of choice, as it is really strong. Using more dueling power, and as like the full ID Renekton too, it's like really clutch in team fights, because I can one-shot one person, and then I will heal instantly, based on like how much AD I have, and because I'm carrying a lot of AD on this playstyle, I'm going to be healing like up to, I think, like 400 health, I think, later on. Really crazy stuff. And the passive as well just makes me really beefy. Just ignoring, there's a 30% of damage. Really crazy. So my team's looking for, they're just like hanging around Baron here, so in this time, just got to force a fight, build the Graves. Then my team's like just all set here, and the enemy has to think about if we're going to do Baron or not, because we have 20 seconds. So it's either they defend bot lane, and then we try and attempt Baron, or even then like I can push here, and then like we get mid tower. Am I really backing here? I think I could have stayed, but I think it's because TF's top lane. I think that was a wasted opportunity by me. Because everyone showed on the map except for Xin Zhao, and I don't have to be scared of Xin. I could have kept pushing the tower. And then that could have freed us from, that could have freed the fact we get mid tower here as well. That was like a mistake on my part for sure. But in this moment, we are trying to abuse them. Hecarim just going in, doesn't give a fuck. Kill the Renekton here. That was a pretty good punishment here after Veigar died. Now we can like push towards Inib, as they have no way of defending this. Although they do have a Graves, but he's not really strong enough to defend. So we see TS trying to go in. I'm like around here. We can just fight this. Like ult just to get Fury. Some health too in case worst scenario I get like bursted down without my ult. And now we go Baron. So right now you just saw us like capitalizing on their like players. Like when you have this lead, if someone's like in the side lane, there's like 2 people or 3 people, you want to instantly like pressure the map. Like if there's 2 people here and just 4 of you in the mid lane, you want to just dive that shit. And that's just kind of what we did. And then that got us 2 towers. Well, 3 towers actually. 3 towers. And then just led to a Baron as well. So definitely make sure, like, in those scenarios you are getting something out of it, because if they goes just to die for no reason, then there's no, like, net gain. We're just losing, like, randomly, when we don't need to. And we have to kind of force, like, things to happen, because they're only 1 dragon away from getting soul. And while, like, it's not going to help them too much, in another game, like, where it's, like, Infernal or Hex Tech or something, like, it becomes really strong for that team to end up winning the game because of it. So it's definitely important for us to also just try and find ways to get back in the game and try and pressure our lead even more. Because this wasn't an easy game by any means. We have to play it smart. But speaking of smart, Veigar dies again. The Baron call doesn't really go as planned. And then we have to back off. I mean, it was an okay attempt, but Veigar just decided to die for some reason. And next Hecarim also wants to have a little bit of fun. So this is pretty bad right now. And I think at the moment they were going for Baron, or they were just down here setting up for Dragon. What am I waiting for? Is it Death Stance? I think it is. Yeah, I finally get Death Stance. So at the moment, I'm pinging Baron because I know they're going for it, or they at least should go for it. We see Renekton's also pathing upwards, so that only means that she's going there. So I'm just spam pinging hell out of this with Hecarim. You see TF's here. Let's go for that. I don't know why he wasn't on the Baron, because it wasn't like they were shredding it to begin with. Like, he should have been there with his team. Secure the kill on him. They're now throwing the Baron opportunity that they could have got. But Renekton was just, like, in vision. And this is what I mean, like, as long as you have vision of somebody, that opens up, like, so much, like opportunities. And it gives you, like, an idea what the enemy's planning. So we knew they were on Baron just because how Renekton was moving. And that's why it's important, like, if you are trying to go for it, you mask your movement. Like, maybe you walk, like, up here in Fog of War, like you're walking back to here, but instead, like, you're just going here, like, hold on to this part of the terrain, and then we don't know where she is exactly. Yeah, like, we just know from that, and they waste their opportunity, capitalize on it, flash from the graves, kill him, my team kills the rest of them, and just like that, we get the Baron. Baron's in, like, Masters Elo and, like, low High Diamond is a super cursed. Every game that I play, if we start Baron, we always lose it. If the enemy start Baron, they always lose it. Like, it's really crazy how often that happens. Like, it's really ridiculous. And from that as well, we get the Dragon, deny them from Soul. I'm waiting here using Red Trinket just to kind of get out from enemy vision. Caitlyn cluelessly just walking in for some reason. We just capitalize on this. Prowler, W, auto. Then dead like that. I don't have to really play it anything special, just as long as Prowler is dead. And from here, I'm just pressuring my lead. My team's looking for a fight over here, so in that time, I can't really just walk over there because I don't have teleport, and I'm not going to make it there in time, so just going to keep on pressuring bot side. Take the tower, or the inhib here, I guess, instead. So we get inhib into tower. Now, for macro, the next thing we want to do is use Baron topside, so yeah, I don't know why my team like kept going in. It was a little bit my fault too, just overstaying. But yeah, right now I'm pinging over here. There's nothing else to do on the map. Like, if we all just like stay bot or mid, like we're wasting our Baron buff, and we're kind of just gonna be like at a stalemate. We can't just go in because they are putting up a fight, and they have Renekton ult, which can kind of win them the fight if they get like things perfect. So the best thing to do is actually just by going top lane and securing these outer towers like really easy. And then like our super minions can build up in other lanes, and then they have to try and combat them as well as our push top lane with Baron. So at this point, I want to command my team to go top. I'm running up there. My team is also there now. Really good. Although they are starting to fight. Bit worrying for me because I'm not there. Hecarim's going in. Trying to look for a flank opportunity. In the moment, I thought I had ult as well. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go in and ult, but I actually had no ult. Which is a little bit stupid, and I lose all my health. Veigar's just running in melee form. I don't know why, but he was. So we actually do throw here, but Twitch is luckily pretty good. And they have to reset now because super minions. Yeah. But yeah, like, I just autopiloted it. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but yeah, I don't know what Veigar was thinking either. Like, I don't know. Just kind of running it down. Maybe he was a little bit drunk. He does have the St. Patrick Day skin, I guess. And it was that recently, I think, so I don't know. It was just that kind of energy. So I'm still top lane. I don't know why we're down here. There's literally zero reason. I think I'll start pinging top. Yeah, I ping top here now. But my team isn't really going to listen to me. But we should be top lane because what are we doing down here? We still win. But in another game, this is really bad. It's just bad macro. And in fears of losing, I have to roam down because I'm one of our strongest carriers with Hecarim. So I'm running down. Hecarim comes, hit the plant for Fury. He's ulting in. You cancel W. She's dead. Prowler. Night auto. I'm just running Renekton down. And just like that, we finish off the game now. But it wasn't easy. Definitely wasn't an easy game. My team's macro play was definitely making it hard. And the Baron itself was not really the best. Which I'm also to blame, maybe. I can't remember if I called for it, though. I think I just followed along, just being clueless. And then I went for it. But yeah. Either way, I became kind of stable. I didn't like do these random fights like my team were doing, and we ended up just winning the game. I flashed W here, so he can't react. Auto Q, auto E into the Nexus, cancel my E animation. You can get a better dash where it's like instant, but it's kind of like hard to do sometimes, depending on the terrain. But yeah, we win the game against Graves top lane, which was completely out of the game early with how we played the matchup. So yeah, that was the VOD review, I guess. I think I could have played a little bit better. There was some strange moments I had, but I'll give myself benefit of the doubt. I was a little bit tired at the time of playing this game, and I think that's pretty important to accept. Because sometimes people just like, I mean, for me as well, I often blame myself a lot for things if I don't play well. Like, oh, I did this wrong, I'm all these like negative things I'll just call myself, but something I am trying to learn as a person is not to do that. And I think if you're like one of those people too, you should definitely like give yourself a bit of credit. Don't just like hate on yourself, because it's not really a good thing to do. I mean, it's never a good thing to do, right? But yeah, give myself benefit of the doubt here. Could have played a little bit better, but I did enough to win the game, and ultimately I did deserve the win. So yeah, that is the Graves matchup anyways. And if you guys have any extra questions or any specific matchup requests you would like to see, then please type in the comments below. And if you want more of this content, make sure to like and sub for it. I am planning to do more things like some Renekton guides and some top lane and like tips to masters type videos, so definitely be on the lookout for those within the next month, because I am going to try and make a video every day. That is my challenge for the next month. So yeah, hope you guys are very excited for that, if you're Renekton fans or fans of my content. So with that being said, thank you all for watching and have a good day. See you next time.